as sad as she feels, I have to think that if you considered what this show has been from the Vajra perspective this whole time, it'd probably be a lot sadder. We keep following this song that lures us here, and they keep fucking killing us. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with episode 21 of Macross Frontier. After today, not much is gonna be left. So I guess either we kill everybody or we get moving.
I mean, it's four. With this one, will be 4 episodes left. Well, 5 because it's 21.
Well, I mean, that's what's said after. Because we'll have the one recording day where we'll have 3, and then we'll have one recording day where we have 1. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're not actually operating on a pace to answer all of my questions in this episode. I don't feel like.
I mentioned this for while I appreciate the fact that this was 25 episodes and it often gets to the point. At the same time, I feel that this story is one that should have needed either be like 45 minutes per episode to
I
include
thought you were
all the
saying
background
45
stuff,
episodes.
or be around 30 episodes.
Well, my thing is that the questions that I particularly want answered, the things I've been talking about the most, have not been the focus of the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't particularly ask a lot of questions about the love triangles, right?
Mhm.
I joke about them when the episode's happening, but
Yeah.
I'm not like gonna guess, oh, who is Ranka gonna wind up with? Like, it's in the song. Who are you gonna kiss? It's like,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
not, as I said before, I don't have the teenage goggles on anymore. I can't see the world
Mhm.
that way. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna, who's Dawson gonna wind up with,
Yeah.
I
That was a
don't,
whole
I don't really care. I
mess.
mean, I hope that the romance turns out good, and I hope it's adorable to watch on screen and things are, nice and happy. But
Mhm.
that's not what my mind is gonna be about. It's like, what's the whole Ranka backstory thing? What is Ozmo's actual relationship? Uh, you know, is Mao actually going to be Ranka's mom, and it's like a double bluff the whole time? It's like I have so many questions that I want answered, and not one of them actually had to do with the politics of Macross Frontier. Like, um, sorry, Luca's the name that keeps coming to my head. It's the wrong name.
Luca,
Leon.
yeah. Leon.
Leon, like, I didn't guess that Leon was going to try and take over. Like, I thought he was going to be
Mhm.
Wormtongue the whole time.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't realize that Wormtongue actually kills Saruman.
Yeah.
By the way,
That
really old book. Don't fucking care if that's a spoiler. I just heard
it
that
didn't
the other
happen in the
day.
yeah. It would have happened in the movies, but they cut that part out.
Yeah, because they didn't want to give the hobbits a, action return to the Shire, I guess. But yeah, I guess redemption for Wormtongue. Um, but yeah, no, that's my point, is that I don't care. My head is in the mystery, not in the action. I don't know how to describe it. The politics, the fighting, etc. I just want to know. I don't so much care about how we get there.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just also an element of the action is kind of samey after a certain point.
True. I mean, there's only so many times you can fight the Vajra. Just fight them.
Well, it's how many times, like, okay, for example, you like fighter jet movie stuff, right?
Yeah.
How many times in a day could you watch all of Top Gun, Iron Eagle, all of those kind of movies back to back
I
before you like want something else?
I could do a day worth of watching, but I wouldn't be watching all the entire week worth of it.
See, I don't think I could do a day of the same thing. Like, I can't even binge one show for a full
Mm.
day. Like, I need something else.
I do binge, which is my problem with Crunchyroll. I finished a series like 2 days, nights ago. It was like, oh, it was in 2016. There's no more than one season. I was like, oh man, that sucks. And then I learned, which tends to happen a lot, like a lot of manga series abruptly end because the creator just dies.
Yeah, High
Like one of
School of the
these
Dead.
where one of the creators was like her story was very popular. It even made it all the way to be a live drama in Japan and a live drama in Korea. And the way she died, it was an accident while they were moving from one house to another.
I thought you were gonna hit
Like
me with a slip down the stairs or
it,
something.
well, I don't know exactly how it was. It could have been she slept under there, or a box fell on her or something. She just that's a Wikipedia what says, oh, she died, which is funny because the inciting incident of that drama for the girl to move into the house where her crush is living and the family is that her house gets damaged by an earthquake. But in the original manga and anime, and then uh in the live action adaptation, it's like a meteor just crashes into the house. So again, she died in a house accident, kind of like her character was, lost her house temporarily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, not better. My typical example is usually again High School of the Dead, because you had the one season, and then they just stopped making the manga because they were having like health issues and everything like that. And then they started
yeah,
making the manga again. I was like, oh, good. And I started reading the manga, and then no new stuff starts coming out. I was like, huh, what happened? Oh, they died. It's like, oh. So I've got all the High School
yeah.
of the Dead, the anime, and then I started, well, the manga goes beyond the anime, but
Mhm.
it's like, oh, good, more manga. I really like this story. I'll pick this up. I'll start reading again. Oh, dead.
Yeah. That's why I don't usually like long form, very long form stories, because I like them to be get wrapped up.
So your
So if something,
complaint is that only one season, you had nothing else to watch, but I hate long form stories.
well, I hate the fact that it doesn't end. If you get one season and the story's not over, then I expecting more seasons. But if it's a one season storyline, like 12, 30 episodes,
Feels
I'm
like
fine
One
with that.
Piece is great for you because you never have to worry about it being over. You could like binge
Oh
for
no,
a
no,
whole day and then
and-
still not be close to anything. And
no, no, no,
you
no.
could
That's
binge it
just
another day
way,
somewhere
way, way
else.
too much. No, no, no. That's way too much. I need to see that there's an ending somewhere. I don't want to be like 10 years later. Well, they're still going after the One Piece. Well, I guess so. Fuck that noise. I ain't gonna do that.
That's a weird impression of what you think you're going to sound like when you're 50, I guess.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe Detective Conan?
I don't know. Well, I think that's over, right? A
No.
couple of
I think it's
movies
still going.
still going. Yeah.
But I
So
mean, at the end of the day,
kid.
that's a meta story about is he ever going to get his adult body back? But
Yeah.
you have at least the act of it's not one huge like are they following the One Piece sort of thing. It's
No.
every episode is its own thing.
Yeah, it's its own self-contained story. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can try and solve the mystery along with, well, I was gonna say his name, but his name changes based on where you are. Jimmy Kudo
Yeah.
is what I know him as, but that's the American version. Different name. No, actually, no. Isn't his name Conan something in America?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe it's Jimmy Kudo in Japan. I don't know. I know Jimmy Kudo is his name somewhere.
I think there's at least I saw one TikTok of a Japanese TikToker who would do the comparisons, like, oh, this is what you call it in Japan, and this is what you call it in America, and the Japanese side is like horrified because the names are just so completely different. And then she's like, oh, you call Pokemon, okay, yeah, okay, that's close enough. And then the Japanese side starts saying them that the American side going like, oh no, let's not call it that either. No, that's bad, And eventually, I don't know what they reconcile on. That they come to, but Conan is one of those like, oh, Detective Conan. She's like, Detective Conan, what? Nani?
Yeah, I mean, it's different from Case Closed, which is its
Yeah,
actual. But I
yeah.
don't know. I guess I could recommend Case Closed to you.
I think I watched a couple of episodes, and
No,
I was
there's a
like,
live action
"Ugh."
TV series of Case Closed, which is pretty good. And then if you like that, that could introduce your way into the anime. But there's also a series of Case Closed movies that are kind of related to one another, even though they could be watched individually, which then you could watch in.
Also
Of course, the idea
frustrating
is that
is
he's not a kid in the live action or in the movies. He is the turned into a kid teenage Jimmy Kudo. Because you wouldn't want to watch a child running around solving fucking mysteries in live action. So yeah, it's just a teenage mystery or teenage detective thing with all the characters.
Also, I think what's frustrating is, the manga continues and the anime gets canceled. And it's like, well, if I go back to if I start reading the manga, I will have to start reading from the very beginning to catch up and then follow. And that feels like I'm just retreading all ground. Like I know a lot of the stuff that happens, not all of everything, because manga tends to go more granular, little episodes and stuff like that will never be in the anime. Anime just like we don't have the time to every time that he goes to the bathroom and has a breakdown, we're gonna animate that, right? Or something like that, right? Every tear from the girl that doesn't get the boy or
I mean, it all
whatever.
depends.
Yeah.
I remember Zom 100 was basically 1-for-1.
But that's very rare, especially now with just a 12-episode format. At least when it comes to
I don't know. There's not a lot of manga that I've fully completed that has an anime counterpart. Zom 100, example. Still haven't watched Solo Leveling, but I've read the entire manhwa of Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
The last manga that I think I actually even read was Fire Fist.
And if you read the
Fire
entire
Punch.
manga, then I don't feel why should I watch the anime when I know again what's going to happen unless they're going to do some twist or something like, oh, we're going to do.
Well, because reading a manga involves my hands.
Well, I guess yeah.
Yeah, I could just turn on the anime and re-experience the manga without turning pages wrong way, without turning pages or scrolling down depending on how you read it.
Frontier, ready to go?
Does Frontier have a manga?
Don't think so.
Well, because 7 had 2 manga.
Frontier has.
Maybe at some point I'll go back and read Trash. Trash does not have a good art style for me.
I know
Macross 7
Macross
Trash.
2,
I meant
Macross 2 had a manga because I read it. Actually, it was even better than the series. Well, stylistically speaking.
Well, like I said, Miley Beat I really enjoyed, except for obviously the one bit. But Miley Beat was a really good manga for Macross. Trash, I did not enjoy like the first few pages. It was a very confusing narrative and very bad art style for my taste, anyway.
It says Macross Frontier franchise has 6 manga series. I don't know. Yeah, Macross Frontier manga exists, according to Shonen Ace. Macross Frontier, yeah, in Macross World. So,
yeah, maybe I'll give one of them a look-see before we finish, so I can have something right at the end. Little add-in on, hey, this is what's different here, or hey, you didn't know this side shit, or just the way that they sometimes line these things up for the.
I would wait to see the two. The movies are actually 2 movies. I don't know if they're different. I don't remember if they're 2-parter or they're actually both are retellings of the story themselves, just in different form. No, I think it's a 2-parter. Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Let's check here. We have. Let's see. What do we have listed for the Macross F stuff? We've got Macross Frontier, Itsuari no Utahume, Macross Frontier, Sayonara no Tsubasa, Macross Frontier, Labyrinth of Time. Sorry, some of these times I also don't translate, so I may say the English one and the Japanese name as 2 different movies. Macross Fire Bomber 7, Frontier Bomber. So anyway, whatever the Fire Bomber Frontier one is.
Yeah.
I have listed for us to watch Macross.
Oh, because there's one that's also a crossover with Delta as well.
Yeah,
should wait.
Let me get to the list here, but I also have us listed to watch Macross Fofonia or Fofina, whatever the hell that's called.
Yeah.
Although that will just be the enjoyment of not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. I don't have a lot in the English translated side. What is it? Macross 25 Shunin Kinin, all that VF Macross F version. Macross F music clip Shu Nyankuri.
Yankuri.
Macross F Chojiku Gaichu.
Jiko Gaiku.
Apparently, there's
Gaiku.
also Macross Fufuna Specials, which I think I also have, but is not also translated. And I think that's everything I've got. I think, now, did we already watch Mini Chara Macross? No, that's something else I think I couldn't get. I don't know what Pure Shield goes to.
No,
and
we did SD Macross, but that was it.
And I don't know what Georges goes to either. So I have a number of these that aren't listed under anything because I haven't looked up any additional information or how possible it is to get them. Because I do have Itsuwari no Utahime is the first movie that we'll watch afterwards.
Yeah.
Because that's released in 2009.
I watched 2 movies. But those are they're 2-parters. So they're basically one larger story that's divided in 2. I don't know if the other ones are, but yeah.
Yeah, so I've got us down for at least 9 other Macross F things. Assuming that I can get all of them. Alright, well, other than that then, I guess let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
He fell backwards on a knife. What is it Leon's fucking plan here?
Power, getting power.
No, I just mean, he said the Vajra killed the president.
Mm-hmm.
Any cursory glance is going to realize that's her bullet wounds. The bullet holes in the wall behind him. Turning red? Yes. I just don't know what his plan is.
I think this is the extent of the plan. He just took over.
Yeah, but he's taking the
Battle Frontier to fight the Vajra.
Yeah, no, sorry, he just said the name and it totally escaped me already. It's like Battlefront. Yeah. Well, I was going to say Battlefront, probably because the video game is in my head. But
it's like Battle 7, City 7.
So here's the thing. You obviously already know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You said to fight the frontier, to fight the Vajra, obviously. That's not what I was thinking, but now I have no chance. I can't think anything else because you know what's going to happen, and you thought it was so obvious as to say it out loud. I know, you've been holding back on not wanting to say a lot of shit because you don't want to spoil. That was kind of a spoiler because that's not what I thought he was up to.
Oh.
I don't know what he's up to, so I thought he was actually going somewhere. Because we know that he is in league with Grace, and Grace has the galaxy on her side. So I thought, oh, maybe he's taking that to the fucking galaxy. I thought he was abandoning all of the frontier. Because I thought that's why the captain was so, fucking, oh, no, oh, fuck, okay, well, whatever. Well, now I kind of know that he's going to just go fight the Vajra, which is whatever. Why'd you even take control? I'm pretty sure the president would have done that.
アイアンド3に行けばなんとかなるんだな。はい。クラン、準備はいいか。ミシェル。
Oh, it wasn't Alto. A lot of blue-haired people. Not my fault. Legit think she'd be more effective with a fly swatter. How's that work in a gravity well?
What do you mean? I don't.
He's turning the Macross border to move, and he's got a steering wheel. The thing's got legs. How does that work in a gravity well?
確かにこれで外の敵には対処できるかもしれません。ですが、それでは何の解決にもなりませんぞ。臨時大統領。少し黙っててくれるかな、准将。この作戦をルカ君が。はい、一区回戦で。よし、本艦はこのまま外部から襲来するバジラを撃退する。クォーターと回線をつなげ。
It's very surprising that bullets still work on them at all.
半径50キロの空間を切り取って食い尽くす LAI が開発したフォールド爆弾です。50キロって戦弾ごと飲み込んじまうじゃないか。だからバジラをどこか一箇所に集め爆発。
Come on, Alto, put two and two together here. Doesn't this seem familiar to you at all?
ルカ、まさかおいルカ、貴様。 僕は決めたんです。絶対に守るって。なのに。だからってなんかおとりにしようなんて。死んだんですよ、ミシェル先輩は。船だってボロボロ、生態系だって無茶苦茶だ。これ以上被害を受けたらフロンティアはおしまいなんです。
I mean, in fair, there's giant holes in the ship, so this place is just a big old biodome with holes in it.
多分俺たちはそういう瀬戸際にいる。
I guess the president actually did have redeeming qualities. He thought the ultimate goal was to find a new Earth, so he was kind of like weirdly in the middle of the line on that one.
アイランド3は最も被害の少ない島だというのに。もともとゼントラーディ用の農業観光島だからね。マイクロン化させれば収容は容易だ。他の島では時間が足りないよ。
ランカさんが歌を歌い始めたらバジラが全ての船から集まってくるはずです。
移動が確認された時点でアイランド3を切り離し安全圏まで離れたところでこれを爆
Oh,
発
back
さ
to
せ
the
ます。
racism, huh? It's the least damaged ship, by the way, so let's blow it up. Also, it's the Zentradi ship, right? We've already expressed this fucking Zentradi racisms before.
脱出も必ず成功させる。
But what about the cows?
Yeah, I think they're gonna die.
It's not great for the long-term survival of the fleet if you're gonna destroy the best conditioned ship. Which implies it must still have the most oxygen available. Like, you're not saving anything, you're folding it away.
歌わなくていいんだぞランカ。
ひどいよブレラさん、どうしてそんなこと言うの。
歌はお前の心だ。それはお前だけのものだから。
His memories back. We saw when he was talking to Grace, he had like an electrical storm going around his head.
Yeah, but that was because he was binding him to force him to do what he wanted.
でもいいの。
This is ironically the most clothes we've ever seen him wear.
伝えたかった。たった一人の人。その人には届かなかった歌だけど、これがそのたった一人の望みだから。愛も愛もねでるせのいなみりやえおいで。
You know, as sad as she feels, I have to think that if you considered what this show has been from the Vajra perspective this whole time, it'd probably be a lot sadder. We keep following this song that lures us here, and they keep fucking killing us. And they keep going after our nests. What'd I say? It always reacts to her singing, not Cheryl.
続々とアイランド3方面へ移動中です。
今だ、攻撃の手を緩めるな。
なぜ襲う我々を。見せる見せる。
I guess now the Satrani can become demons.
痛い痛いよ。
見事よリトルクイーン。11年前とは違うのね。
アイランド3をパージ。
ランクリーの脱出を確認。
やりたまえ。
ごめんね。
お前はよくやったさ。ありがとうランカ。
I gotta think I isn't alive right now either.
No, I think he was one of the.
大きすぎた。
And I just added him to the board too.
とても痛ましい厄災でした。我々は敬愛するハワード・グラス大統領を失い、また多くの人々が友人を、家族を、愛する人を失いました。
You fucking snake.
皆さんは怒りとともに、あるいは悲しみとともに問いたいことでしょう。なぜと。なぜ我々なのだ。なぜ私の家族が、恋人が、なぜ傷つかなければならなかったのか。残存兵力を総動員し、生き残っていたバジラもほぼ掃討され、ようやく事態は
They said Starship Troopers.
失った人、失ったものは二度と戻らず、皆さんの心も取り返しのつかない傷を負ったことでしょう。そう、傷はあまりにも深い。 今はただ祈りましょう。失われた命のために。
Son of a bitch.
Well, it's more so. Let's look back to the recycling center with everybody that doesn't get this kind of funeral.
おつらいとは思いますが、歌ってくださいますね。追悼と明日への希望の歌。我々がバジラとの戦いに勝利し、生き残るために。
Hey, Nikon.
ごめんなさい。
ランカさん。
ごめんなさい。もう歌えません。
Which makes her different from Cheryl, who would sing no matter what.
ラオカちゃん。もうやだよ。どうして私なの？どうして私の歌バジラたちに。
Hey!
アイくん？
Assuming you're the same one.
アイくん、どこ行ってたの？こんなに大きくなって。ずっと心配してたんだから。アイくん。
I'm just gonna assume it's gonna turn into something a lot less cute.
誰だこんな夜中に。ランカ。ランカ。
アルトくん。
ランカ、お前どうして歌を。
お願いがあるの。アルトくん。
Please don't freak out.
そうだ。アルトくんがいつも折ってた紙飛行機。折り方教えてくれる？
ああ。
I just kind of assumed that whatever I turned into, he was gonna be here.
Could be hiding though.
It was as big as she was. This is a big old wide open space.
それは俺のおふくろは体が弱くていつも空ばかり見てる人だった。俺も一緒に見てて、そんな時おふくろが言ったんだ。本物の空が見たいって。
本物？
ああ、青く果てしなく続く水平線と白い雲、そんな本物の自由な空。おとぎ話みたいだったよ、この船で生まれた俺にとっては。
素敵だね。
ありがとう、ランカ。
アルト君。
うん。
できた。
あ、ちょっと貸して。
Right, the super complicated art of paper airplane design.
よし、これでバッチリだ。
Reminds me of a video of a guy who was in a football. I don't know if probably it's AI, it could be fake, but he's in a football stadium. He throws a paper plane and it flies until it actually goes into the goal in the middle of the
I think
game.
that's real because I've seen that too a long time ago.
Yeah.
自由に
And the fact it's glowing should probably
自
be
由に生きたい
something.
んだよねきっと
We all should know something was up with the Renka by the fact she can control her
ハ
hair.
ルト君お願い私と一緒に
バジラ
やめてハルト君
なんで止めるそいつはバジラなんだぞミシェルを殺した
でもこの子じゃないよこの子はまだ脱皮したばかりで何も悪いことしてないじゃないなのに殺すの
バジラがいる限り空は戦場になる俺たちが生き残るにはこいつらを殺すしかないんだ貴様
ブレラさん
なんか望みを言えお前の望みを俺が叶えてやる
I'm pretty sure he didn't stab Ozma.
アイ君
なんかお前
私ね最近少しずつだけど昔のこと思い出してるんだ怖いけどでもきっと私は知らなくちゃいけないんだってそんな気がしてだから私行くね
行くって
せめてこの子だけでも仲間のところに返してあげたいの
I don't remember where he came from.
わかった
Because it's certainly not the half-destroyed planet.
アルト君
バカ行くなラッカ
本当はねアルト君と行きたかったずっと一緒にいたかったよ
Now, to be fair, Alto is the disappointing one here.
さよなら大好きでした
I feel like at some point I'd have to rewatch SDF Macross to try and compare Alto to Hikaru.
そして何あなたは鳥そして宇宙
That's disappointing. I legit thought these two would be up to something. Not living like hobos.
強制解除されています全てが一つに調和してたあの日
Well, congrats, Alto. You lost everything. You played the game and you lost.
I don't think he even knew he was a player. That's the problem.
Well, Michael kept telling him. Up until Michael couldn't tell him anymore. Oh, man. They failed to protect the purity of their blue and pure world. Thing is, I have no idea where the fuck they're going. New outro too. I just, I assume she has some sort of full wavefold connection to them if they got a wavefold connection to her. It's just the only place they've been with a colony done got blown up. Probably not like supporting life anymore. So I don't know where they're going. At least maybe the galaxy. Assuming that the galaxy might actually just be filled with Vajra too.
Perhaps.
Like I said, I can't wait till we get back to a show that you haven't seen before, so we can actually have a conversation about shit.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, there's still stuff that I can spoil for you, which I don't want to.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
The difficulty of not being able to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So, like, once we get to Delta, and I'm finally able to, like, back in Macross 7 days, where we can just, like, try and figure out what's going on. Oh, look, seems to be an ice planet. It seemed you had a hard time finding. Hey, we're gonna finally watch Macross Northern Cross. I guess not technically that was SDF Northern Cross, wasn't it?
No, it was Super Dimensional Army Southern Cross.
I was very close. It was still SD Cross. I just got two of the words wrong.
Yeah, because it's Super Dimensional.
SDF
Super Dimension
means
Fortress
South
Macross.
Dimensional Fortress, so it's
Super
SD.
Dimension Army Southern Cross and Super Dimension Century Orgus, which I have somewhere. I have to watch. I haven't watched Orgus.
I've read the descriptions of both of them, so I at least know what they're about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This episode was pretty emotional. At least for me.
I mean, it would be. Probably when I'm watching and taking my notes, I have literally brought this up on like every live stream that I've done. And no, I'm not talking about my live streams just to advertise myself. It's just that's the only times that I do Mashoko Tensei, which is like the only as equivalently emotional show. I feel like, for example, the main character, who by the way you start episode 1 in season 1 with as like a baby, and he's grown up into like maybe 20 years old by where he's at in the show now, and he's gonna have a kid. Like his childhood friend, who he like lost track of, this huge disaster thing, finally met back up with, had a whole arc now, and they're not gonna have a kid. Like she's expecting, she's 2 months in on pregnancy.
Yeah.
But now his mother, they finally know where she's at. His father's gonna try and rescue her. Has a whole adventuring party.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a message from his father's friend, says, I can't remember. It's a real short message. Basically, like, need help. And it's like, God basically told him that if you go to that continent where she's at, you will regret it.
So either you lose your mother or you lose your love.
Well, the idea is, I mean, I have been putting out there that possibly you could, something could happen here. There's also the element that the woman that he marries and now is going to have a kid with was also bodyguarding the princess, who is kind of involved in the play for the throne. Like, she's only at the school because she's voluntarily evicted the country after her brother tried to have her assassinated. And that she is on leave for 2 years from the bodyguarding thing because of, having the kid. And the person who's going to stand in for her is also now going to go with the main character to try and rescue the mother. So I'm like, oh, Ariel, that might be the time to try to assassinate her. So that might be the thing there. There's a lot of moving wheels here of what regret might actually mean.
Yeah.
But my point here was actually, when I'm watching the show, my main thought process is understanding what I'm seeing. So the emotional wheels aren't moving. But then when I'm taking my notes, it's like the tears well up a bit. It's like I'm now not in the try to understand what's happening. It's taking in what's happening. Yeah. So I always get more emotional on the second pass, unless it is of such a degree of emotionality that I can't help but get hit with it. And again, I think that's probably why, like, my reaction to the final episode of Gunbuster keeps getting, like, 1,000 views a week, because everyone likes to see a grown man cry. It was so emotional that I couldn't hold back. So it was like, yeah, it's a real good thing.
Yeah. I
Versus
remember that one.
this I could see where this would be considered emotional, but
Not
there's
yet.
a
It hasn't
level
ended.
of frustration there as well.
Hmm.
Like, obviously, I know where Alto's coming from. They killed Michael. I was obviously the number one play there. The same way that
Mhm.
when we watch Gundam Seed, and it's like,
Mhm.
obviously we know why Athrun wants to fight Kira in season 1. He killed Nicole. You
Mhm.
know? That is the cycle of hatred sort of thing. Again, main themes of Gundam shows transposed into Macross for some reason. But, yeah, every time they kill the Vajra, Renka suffers pain.
Mhm.
So it's like obvious what's going on. But Alto, as you mentioned, doesn't know he's in the game.
Yeah.
He's made poor decisions for when for if Cheryl, if he's gonna wind up with her,
Mhm.
versus Renka, which he's done nothing about. And
Mhm.
Renka's made it pretty obvious. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's even
Yeah.
him
In
being like
another
dense.
in another situation, they would have all the time in the world because they're in high school, and one confesses, and then he figures out his emotions and all that. But yeah, the problem is that that's happening while they are on the verge of all dying, basically, because Fleet
No.
is then.
Renka has put herself out there real early. Like
Yeah.
well before any of this. Like obviously not well, but there's a difference where there's long periods where they're not under assault, right? So yes, sure, Alto puts himself into a combat situation like episode 1, but there's huge swaths where it's just relationship shit, right?
Mhm.
And Renka is making it very clear with all the left messages and all the times that she just wanders off. She switches schools. Like, fuck. Like, it's very clear. It's not even we didn't have time. We see them have plenty of time.
There you go. So episode 21, 4 episodes to go.
Okay. Thought you'd have some weigh in. You don't really just pick and choose it. I feel like you could just pick and choose to just say stuff that doesn't involve a spoiler, but
Yeah. I mean, I already said it's very emotional, and I already said my piece about who I believe he should be with, which is
I don't think you
Cheryl.
have. Okay. I don't believe you ever said that.
No, I said that the narrative clearly is pointing out at Cheryl, and in fact, most of his attention, Alto, has been to Cheryl, right? Right. Rank has always been, in fact, the opening song in the first 15, 16 episodes, they talk about Ranka as the little girl that is sort of, following, it's weak and it's following Cheryl, right? And now Ranka has passed her over in importance, but still Alto is like Cheryl, right? In fact, they're the two who approach Ranka and convince her, hey, you should sing. Yeah, he doesn't want to throw Ranka's life away. He's not cruel. He cares about her, I think, in a sort of, hey, I think he cares about her in this, oh, she's like my little sister kind of way, right?
So
This is
she's
the
already got
person,
one of those.
yeah. Does he? No, he's
I said she's already got one of those.
yeah. So
Ozma.
that, yeah. So she doesn't need that, but I think it's both the strength and weakness of Alto's character. Not that it's a bad character, is that he wants to protect other people. He wants to save, he wants to protect. But that doesn't mean that he feels about everybody in the same way, right? Because when
I mean, I guess there
Lucas
could be there's no obligation to have a relationship with somebody.
yeah, which is what Brera was saying, the song belongs to you, right? The singing, the music belongs to you. Your heart belongs to you and no one else's, right?
I don't know. When he says that, I'm paying more attention to the song itself. And I thought he was talking more about the origin of the song, less so than her ability to sing it.
Yeah. But it's a thing that he shows up after they take off, so they can interrupt. And although clearly Alto can go toe to toe with him because he's a cyborg and he's proven he can kill him, in an instant if it wants to.
I don't know. Osmo stood up against him. Osmo's not a cyborg, as
Yeah,
far as
but-
we know.
But it was more of
I guess Osmo. I'm going to clarify. Osmo's not a cyborg. He spent enough time in the hospital. I think we know.
yeah. So yeah, I don't think anybody can stand up toe to toe in a hand-to-hand
Again, Osmo
engagement.
stood up against him in like a sewer. So I think.
Yeah, but it was like he just dodged the bullets and got into his face. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, but then
And it
Ozma
was
also had knives in his gut. I mean, not Ozma had knives in Barrera's gut, as Barrera also had like a knife pointed at his head, but they both did the hand holding each other's back thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's
Also,
not a Superman. That's what I'm saying. I think you can one-on-one him. It's just you're probably going to go one for one. Like you're going to
Yeah.
kill him, and he's going to kill you.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing you can do is you can Rob Roy the whole situation, basically.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't know. Alto's not making great choices. I mean, to the fault of his character. I think it is the point of his character is that he has flaws from his upbringing, which is affecting his ability to make choices. And obviously, there's probably a huge hint there that he saw Cheryl as his mother.
Oh, well, yeah.
Also, odd thing, Cheryl is my mother's name. So it's like,
Yeah, that makes it a little
why'd
weird.
you say that name?
Martha. Oh, in this case, Cheryl.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I said, he saw his mother in her, which is a whole other can of worms, really. Yeah. Also, his mother was sickly and only lasted 12 years of his life. And now Cheryl is sickly. I guess if she lasted 12 years, she could survive to that Firebomber concert where Basara can heal her with his song. Look, we fucking introduced it. You remember when we had that whole conversation about stakes?
No,
and I'm not going to get back into the argument about stakes, but the point of the conversation we had about stakes was this is a shared universe. So anything that anybody does in this universe is shared by everybody. So you can't take back Sound Force. That fucking exists.
You can just ignore it.
You can't, though, because that'd be stupid. That would be fucking dumb. Like, all stronger words for being dumb are entering my head, but I have the wherewithal not to say them out loud. You can't just ignore a thing you've introduced. At best, I guess at worst too, you should just try to find a way to incorporate it to make it work that works in a way that does the thing you want but eliminates the dumb part of it. Like, harmonic therapy, right? We could reduce Basara's singing and the energy involved in it down to like maybe less pseudoscience, actual science. Like the same way that they use harmonic therapy to like break up kidney stones and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we could actually just try and boil it back a little bit, dial it down a little bit into reasonable shit, and explain the laser light shows as some other element of, we could turn it into metachlorians.
Oh God.
Look, either you get weird fantasy music that has supernatural powers, or you get metachlorians. What's your choice? You get one of these two.
That's like a bullet and a knife.
Well, I'll tell you this: you probably want to get shot rather than stabbed, because I've had some really bad biopsies where the shit doesn't like take the anesthetic. And it is like getting stabbed constantly. And by the way,
but you are.
Yeah, well, they don't stop in the middle just because.
No,
like I've had
blood
some like.
alone.
Well, yeah, no, blood pooled around my back, the back of my shirt, which is a giant blood stain. But I had like a rock in there where they kept bending the needle trying to get a biopsy sample around it. Yeah, it's just constant. Worst. Like, I almost went into shock. Like, they had to tilt the table back, the blood flow back into my head, covered with, like, cold towels. Anyway, point being is he probably wanted to get shot rather than stabbed. Has been
Just
my
get it over.
experience.
Just get it over with.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the bullet will go in and out, like a full-on pass-through, not like a pain that'll be in there for with you constantly. If you get a bullet lodged, I have no fucking idea. I assume that's going to be just as bad.
Yeah. Either way, this episode, we're definitely speeding to the end. I cannot wait for about a year or so from now when everybody's still making comments about this and see what they think. Although they probably already hate me by the fact that what happened in Macross 7. But yeah.
Well, there's the
I'll take-
difference. That's the difference between you and I when it comes to this.
Yeah.
People call me out for the shit I say, even though you're shitting on Macross 7 every episode. No one's made a single fucking comment. So
Nobody cares. No, that's even worse. Nobody cares. It's like, oh, that guy said something. But Theta, that's
no
what we
idea. I
want.
guess I just got a hateable voice. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
that guy. We don't care about that guy.
I give a wrong opinion, or not even a wrong opinion. I just give an opinion, and people fucking hate me for it. You say you hate the most beloved show so far, and
Nobody cares.
it's either that or they're not watching. They just tune into the video of a show that they know they like, not watching the reaction. Oh God, I can't wait till you guys get to the next episode.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
All right. Well, once again, we've been Stone Faced Reactions. I've been Theta. This has been Lessons. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?